Welcome back to Success Made Simple. I think at this point we're in module 4. And in this video, what I want to talk about, I keep doing that every single video. In this video, I want to talk about the value of your time. Now, when it comes to the value of your time, one of the things I see often is a lot of people have not evaluated their time effectively. And if you don't evaluate your time effectively, you're not making good decisions, because the quality of your decisions that you make are based on how much return you get on those decisions. Does that make sense? I'll give you an example. If you are the CEO of a company, there are certain decisions that you should not be making. There are certain things you should not be doing because they're literally not worth your time. And there are certain things that matter a lot that are worth your time. Think about someone like Jeff Bezos, for example. I think I saw a video not too long ago. He was walking through, I think, an Amazon warehouse or some company, some like warehouse. And they were showing how much his time, how much he was making per second versus how much money other people make per second. And so overall, when it got to like an hour, it showed that like the average person at like his warehouse or whoever's warehouse is making like $14 an hour, $15 an hour. And in the same hour, Jeff Bezos made like couple 100,000, something crazy. Like, I don't know the exact number, but a big number. It was a crazy number. And so when you see that, you have to think to yourself, for every hour, it costs Jeff Bezos, whatever that number is, say, let's just say $100,000 for simplicity. It cost him $100,000 to be at that warehouse. Meanwhile, it only cost that guy $15 to talk to Jeff Bezos or to be in that warehouse. Does that make sense? So you need to understand the value of your time to make better decisions, because when you make better decisions, you can increase the value of your time, and that leads to better outcomes. And we're going to kind of walk through this, and I'll give you some examples so you can understand this point from kind of the bottom up. But what I tend to find is there's kind of two camps of people. I'm going to share with you how to evaluate your time effectively, and I'm going to share with you the two camps of people. And you can make a determination for yourself as to where you currently fall. Chances are, I'm going to be completely honest, if you're watching this video, you fall into the first camp I'm about to share with you. But ideally, by the end of this course, you're going to be in the second camp. You're going to shift your mindset and be in the second camp. So when it comes to understanding the value of money or the value of your time, most people are in the first camp. And the people in the first camp, they don't value their time very much. And they don't make decisions based on the value of their time. So let's say, for example, you work at McDonald's, and let's say the average McDonald's worker, I don't know what they make, but let's just say it's like $10 an hour. Chances are, if you treat your time like you make $10 an hour, you are someone who might scroll on Netflix or watch movies and TV shows endlessly on Netflix, play endless video games, not improve yourself, not try to increase the value of this number. It's why you are worth $10 an hour, your time. And this is like literally when I tell people how to value your time. If you're average, whatever you make at your current job, just consider that the value of your time. That's it. It's that simple. So whatever your job currently is right now, if you're in this first camp of people who do not want to self-improve, who do not care about the value of their time, who don't make decisions that exceed the value of their time. And what I mean by that is you're not making decisions that allow your time to be more valuable. This is where your time is. Whatever you make at your current job, that is what your time is worth. Now, there's a second camp of people, and the second camp of people are always trying to improve themselves. They're trying to reach that vision that they have of themselves. They're trying to reach that ideal version of success that they have for themselves. And because they're trying to level up so consistently, their time value needs to consistently be increasing in order to get to that standard. Again, let's use another example. If you're someone who, say, for example, works at McDonald's, but you're the kind of person that wants to own McDonald's. Well, the owner of McDonald's, I don't know what he makes. Let's just say the owner of a franchise of McDonald's probably makes, like, I'm making up a number, $100 an hour. If you make $10 an hour currently while as an employee at McDonald's, you need to 10x the value of your time, which means that the quality of the decisions that you make from this point on need to at least be a percentage higher than $10 an hour. Like your goal is to get to $100 an hour level decisions. So what I tell people to do is this. If you're trying to increase the value of your time, take whatever your current income is, and this is super basic and super simple, and just multiply it by 2 or 3. It's that simple. You can multiply by whatever number you want, but I think reasonably 2 or 3 is a fair number to multiply by. Now, and by the way, if you're watching this and say, for example, you work at a company that gives you a salary, there's a formula for that as well. Whatever you make yearly at your current company, multiply that by 2,000. And that'll equal your standard hourly value. And then you apply this formula and you multiply that by 2 or 3. My pen's not writing very well, but hopefully you can read that. So that's the formula. If you have salary, whatever your yearly salary is, divide that by 2,000. And then whatever number you get, multiply that by 2 or 3. And that's the value of that's the ideal value of your time. That's what you're shooting for. And if you work an hourly job, multiply by 2 or 3. That's simple. Now, why do we do this? Why is this important? Like I keep saying, you need to start making better decisions. The quality of your decisions will lead to the quality and the value of your income, your hourly income, increasing. So if you are someone who makes $50 an hour and say you want to increase the overall value of your time, then anything that costs less than $50, or let's say, for example, $100, because you're multiplying by 2, anything that would cost you less than $100 an hour, you shouldn't do. Does that make sense? So, Netflix, one of the biggest killers of hopes and dreams. If you're someone who usually spends, say, for example, 4 hours watching Netflix, the question you need to ask yourself is, does Netflix earn me enough money for this to be worth my time? And again, this is more of like a thought experiment. This is just to kind of help you get on the path of making better decisions for yourself in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, you don't pay, in this situation, say you want to watch 4 hours of Netflix a day, you don't really pay $400 watching Netflix. But in the grand scheme of things, what I'm trying to help you understand is really this concept called opportunity cost. That's really what this all is when it comes to the value of your time. It's opportunity cost. The time you're not spending doing something that could improve your life is wasted. It's wasted time. It's wasted potential. And it's time and effort that you'll never be able to get back. So if you're someone who the value of your time is worth $100, is it worth it for you to watch 4 hours of Netflix? Hopefully not. It's a very costly couple episodes. Now you might think it's worth it. And if it's worth it to you at that particular time, then go ahead and do it. It's okay. But if you're trying to improve, it'll help you make a better decision for yourself. It'll help you determine, okay, today I have 4 hours to kill. Where are my 4 hours best spent? Is it best spent watching Netflix? Or say, for example, I have a YouTube channel and I'm trying to grow the YouTube channel to 1 million subscribers. Perhaps those 4 hours are better spent making YouTube videos, because those YouTube videos might cost me, this pen is not cooperating with me. Making the YouTube videos, those 4 YouTube videos might cost me $400, $100 each. But let's just say I'm trying to get to 1 million subscribers. Maybe once I hit 1 million subscribers, the ad revenue I get from just one of those videos, let's just do all 4 at the same time. Let's just make a number, is $50K. I don't know how much people get from ad revenue for, YouTube videos if you have over 1 million subscribers. But let's just say you're Mr. Beast and you got tons of subscribers. The question becomes, at my current level, is it worth it to spend $400 of my time to potentially get $50,000 back? This is a question for you to decide. If the answer is yes, if the 50K sounds better, if it sounds ideal, if it sounds like a good goal to shoot for, then perhaps instead of watching Netflix, which will net you nothing, it might be better to spend those 4 hours making YouTube content that could get you 50K. And it could be less as well. It could be 10K. It could be $500. Is 400 less or more than $500? It's up to you. Is it worth it? These are all questions you need to ask yourself. So this is kind of what I mean when I say a lot of people don't really evaluate their time well, because if you don't know what the value of your if you don't know what your hourly rate is in general throughout the entire day, you're not going to make good decisions. If you're someone that works at McDonald's and your hourly rate is $10 an hour, everything is a benefit to you. Anything that could lift you above that $10 or $10 an hour is a benefit to you. Does that make sense? So it's easier to make good decisions. But the higher your income gets, the more your hourly rate is worth, the more cautious you need to be about making bad decisions. Hopefully this all makes sense. And in the grand scheme of things, for the sake of this video, this is why people don't achieve success. They're not sitting there thinking about their decisions, their hourly decisions that much. People waste a lot of time. Real quick, I want to share a quick story. One thing that I do not do, and a lot of people that I know personally get mad, is I don't take random phone calls. And I've had a lot of people say to me, why don't you take random phone calls? I tried to call you and you didn't answer my call. Literally the other day, it was like, what's today? Today is Tuesday. I think on like Sunday or Saturday, I was out with my wife. And one of my friends that I know kept calling me and I didn't answer. And he's notorious for always calling me. And I always text him back and I say, hey, I'm in the middle of something right now. What's up? What do you need? Shoot me a voice note if it's like something long. If it's short, if you're just trying to say hi, shoot me a text. And if it's important, let me know what it's about. And then I can figure out if it's important and we'll sit down and have a talk once I'm free, once I'm not doing the thing I'm currently doing. And he gets really upset. He's like, oh, how come you don't call me? And I say to him, I'm busy. That's why. I'm busy. And I don't know what you're here to talk about. And I've evaluated my time. By the way, for the sake of this video, I'll share with you, it's $75 an hour. So for every hour you try to call me and you're not doing something that benefits my life above $75, that if you're not giving me information that makes me above $75 an hour, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. And people get offended by this. But it's important that you maintain this. What's a good way to put this? It's important you keep this idea in mind, this idea of using your time effectively. When I used to do real estate. I used to be a real estate agent. I'm still technically a real estate agent. I'm still licensed, but I don't do real estate actively. I do referrals. But when I was an active real estate agent, people would call all day about things that did not benefit me. Hey man, do you need a website? I want to hop on this like 1 hour long call just so I can walk you through making a website. Oh, hey man, do you want to try our new sales product? We can help you generate leads from this new like funnel program software that doesn't really work well. We're going to experiment on you. Oh, hey man, I just want to kind of talk to you about A, B, and C. I want to try to sell you this thing. People will pitch you stuff all day. I'd have calls nonstop. If I sat there, and I used to do this, I would sit there and I would answer all the calls because I thought they might be opportunities. 99% of the time, they were just liabilities. They were not opportunities. They were not offering me anything that actually benefited me. They were just offering things that benefited themselves. Once I stopped taking calls, I got so much more done. I improved so much more. I was able to go from having an hourly rate of $12 an hour working at the time at Brooks Brothers and American Eagle. I guess technically a little bit higher if you combine them, like really like $15 because I didn't get a full 40-hour work week out of either job. It was like 20 hours for one job and 10 hours for the other job. So let's just say $12 an hour. I was able to go from $12 an hour to then later on $20 an hour to then later on $40 an hour. Does that make sense? Because I cut out the stuff that wasn't benefiting me. I stopped taking the random phone calls where people are just trying to sell me to line their own pockets. Does that make sense? And that's just one example. But the point that I'm trying to make is that a lot of people, what they do is they wouldn't ignore a phone call. Someone calls them, they drop whatever they're doing to answer the phone. I see this all the time. And I'm using phone call as an example because it's one of those things I see people be guilty of a lot. But you can apply this to anything that takes time throughout your day. I've seen people sit there and they'll say, oh, I have like A, B, and C to do. And they start working on A and the phone rings. They pick it up. It becomes an hour-long phone call. Okay, they put it down. They get back to work on A. They make like 1% progress. Phone rings again. Hello? Another call. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 15 minutes. Put the phone down. Start working on A again. Phone rings again. Hello? Or text message comes in. Hello? Or notification from their phone comes in. Hello? Start scrolling. They do this the entire day. And by the time the end of the day is reached, A hasn't even been done yet. A is not even at 20%. You haven't even done 20% of A yet, let alone moved on to B and C. All three of these things were extremely important. If you valued your time effectively, say, for example, this individual who keeps answering their phone, say their time was worth $50 and they actually knew it. Whenever someone called, they would think to themselves, oh man, I'm giving this guy $50. For every hour I'm on the phone with this guy, he's getting $50 out of my bank account and putting it into his. Now, if it's worth it to you, take the call. If it's not, don't take the call. And the call, again, you can apply this to any activity, but hopefully you get the point that I'm trying to make. So again, this is why it's so important to properly evaluate your time. Most people are here. Most people have never evaluated their time. So their time is as low as their job tells them it is. And here's a fun fact about jobs. I'm sure you might understand this, but if you're watching this and you don't, spoiler alert, your job always values you less than what you're truly worth, because that's how companies make profit. Does that make sense to you? The amount of money you hopefully generate for a company is always more than what they pay you. If you're an employee at McDonald's and you make $10 an hour, you certainly do generate more than $10 an hour. If you are working at the cash register and they pay you $10 an hour, you probably get like 10, 20, 30, 40 customers in that hour. One meal costs $10. They've already paid you. One customer paid you already, and now everything else is profit. I'm being overly simplistic, but I'm trying to help you understand this point. Real quick before I end this module, another example, Starbucks. If you're watching this, you might go to Starbucks. If you're not someone who goes to McDonald's and eats burgers from McDonald's, fair enough. Let's go to Starbucks. Some guy did the math one time. I was watching the video. Some guy did the math on the cost of paying employees at Starbucks. And I think he looked it up, and like the average Starbucks employee makes like $15 an hour, $13 an hour, something like that. And he was like, well, how much do cups cost? He's like, if you buy cups in bulk, it probably costs like pennies per cup. Straws, pennies. Coffee, what is coffee? It's just water and beans. How much does it cost to import the beans? If you do it in bulk, in the grand scheme of things, like per store, it's probably not that much money. And then how much do you sell a cup of coffee for? A basic cup of coffee, like a grande or venti, what? People buy it for about $3, $4, $5. You sell 3 cups of coffee, you've paid your employee already for the hour. And if you ever went to Starbucks, do you think they only sell $3 3 hot coffees in an hour? No. First of all, they sell way more than coffee. They have like these drinks that are $10 each, all these like snacks and treats that are all worth like, they all sell for like $6, $7. They're really overpriced. But you get the point that I'm making, hopefully. If you're an employee, they're paying you $10 an hour, but the amount of money that you generated in that same hour is probably in the hundreds, maybe even the thousands, depending on which Starbucks you work at or like how much traffic it gets. So they paid you already. Your job is done. But this is how they value your time. And they value your time that way because you value your time that way. Does that make sense? So I don't want to ramble too long on this point, but it's a very important point for you to understand. You need to understand what the true value of your time is, and then you need to make decisions based on the value of your time. If the decisions you make don't earn you as much, or ideally more than what the value of your time is, do not do them. outsource them, give them to someone else, or just ignore them completely. If they do give you more money, do them. Make sense? So, hope this was clear enough to you. And in the next video, what I want to talk about is identity. And that's a big one. It's a big one I want to share with you. It's a big one that stops a lot of people from achieving success. So hope to see you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.